in die Dingens geguckt.
Ah, the Crimson Cat. One of my favorite underground clubs. Ooh, I spent some wild nights here. Which reminds me, I wonder if Stefan is still working the bar these days. Seagrave's Stasholine, high-quality mustache wax. You know, I always wondered what you'd look like with a mustache. Attention customers.
Erinnert mich
Use
immer,
of Dr.
das
Tennyson's
erinnert mich
finger
irgendwie an
pills
diesen
while under the
Supper Club.
influence of alcohol may
Weiß nicht
cause loss of consciousness. It's nice to see this establishment looking out for its patrons. Good old Bollingworth Ale. Unlike so many other things in life, it never lets you down. Well, not while you're drinking it anyway. The next morning is another story entirely. Fine beer always served here. Good to know. Quite the selection. It rivals even the Angel. This place has been around for quite some time. That well-dressed feline is Red, the official mascot. Looks like a view of Claremont Street with St. Denis Cathedral in the background. Call me old-fashioned, but I've always felt the piano should be played by an actual human. These automated ones just don't have any soul. Looks like they've got Bollingworth, Millhopper, and Brooklyn Lager. Not a bad set of beers.
Beg your pardon. Your name wouldn't happen to be Jimbo, would it?
Yeah? Who's asking?
Miles Fordham, private investigator.
Can a guy enjoy his shore leave without being harassed by the law? I've done nothing wrong.
I didn't say you had, and I'm most certainly not the law. I just want to ask you a few questions.
All right, fine.
You know Ronan the Spey?
I knew him, yeah.
Knew him?
He and I haven't spoken recently. In about a month, actually. Things didn't go so well last time.
How do you mean?
Let's just say we didn't part on the best of terms. He made it very clear that he didn't want to speak to me again.
Oh,
Were you aware that Ronan was murdered?
What? No, when? What happened?
He was shot outside a tavern in Chumley 4 nights ago.
Chumley? What was he doing there?
I was hoping perhaps you could tell me.
I honestly don't know. Ronan hardly went out, and he especially never crossed the river.
Why was that?
I think he was just too scared of the world to go out and see it for himself. He was happy enough reading about it in his books or collecting things I brought him back from my travels. Honestly, that's what I liked most about him. He was just an average, boring man. It was just the sort of balance I needed in my life.
That's pretty much the exact same reason I always enjoyed working with you, Miles.
wow.
You and Ronan had a special relationship, didn't you?
Mr. Fordham, we're in an underground club. You don't have to tap dance around it. Yes, Ronan and I were a couple, at least up until last month.
What happened, if you don't mind me asking?
We had a misunderstanding. Ronan thought I had been seeing someone else. He was extremely jealous. I tried to explain that he had it all wrong, but he wouldn't hear me out. I was going to give him some time to cool off, but, well, that's not going to happen now, is it?
If it's any consolation, I found a letter you wrote him, which he still kept in his desk.
Damn. Thank you for telling me that.
Where does the name Jimbo come from?
It's just a nickname. My real name is James Bowcroft.
And what is it you do?
I'm a sailor. I thought you detective types were supposed to be extra observant. Shouldn't you be able to tell me what my occupation was just by looking at my fingernails or something?
Sorry to disappoint. Perceptiveness is important in my line of work, but I'm also just a man.
I think perhaps Jimbo has been reading too many of those detective stories in Brentwells.
Do you have any opinions about the recent election?
Not really. I'm usually way at sea, so I don't keep up with politics. The sea's got her own laws. Anyway, I can't vote, so it's really none of my concern.
But you're still affected by the decisions the Prime Minister makes.
Not very fair, is it, Mr. Fordham?
No, I suppose it isn't. Does the name Priscilla mean anything to you?
Yes, that's my ship, the SS Priscilla.
I see. Did Ronan know about it?
Of course. He always used to ask me to bring him back some exotic souvenir.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Also ein Schiff.
What a mess. Yesterday's
Oh,
rain has
brauchst
made
du
the
mehr
water
Tipps?
level rise significantly. Is it just me, or does it look like there's something resting at the bottom of the drain?
If there is, I have no way of getting to it through the drain cover.
Securely fastened, unfortunately for you. If only there was some way to undo
Hast du
these
die?
bolts
Ja,
and
ich bin
remove
hier,
the drain
ich bin
cover.
hier. Ich stehe gerade so ein
Brauchst?
bisschen auf dem Schlauch. Ich weiß jetzt nicht wirklich, wo ich als nächstes hin soll.
So, du bist jetzt vom Raven, vor dem Great, ne?
Ja,
Hm, lass mich mal gucken, wo das ist. Ah,
es wird nicht erwähnt, weil es nicht wichtig ist.
warte mal, was für eine Water Treatment Station?
Ja,
Da musst du mit Cormac, genau, du hast ja mit Cormac gesprochen, ne?
ja.
Und da müsstest du ja ausgefragt haben, müsstest als Clue sein Testimony gekriegt haben.
Ja.
Und jetzt, nachdem du das Storm Drain untersucht hast, müsstest du ihm nach dem Storm Drain fragen können.
Das macht erstaunlich viel Sinn. Warum bin ich da nicht drauf gekommen?
Dann macht er dir das Ding auf und dann findest du darin was.
Ja, dass das Sinn und Zweck der Aktion ist, darin was zu finden, war mir klar.
Moment of your time, if I may.
Right, but make it quick.
Would you be able to remove the cover of a storm drain?
Yes, of course, sir. Cormac's got the right tool for the job. Just a few twists from old Mary here, and any drain will open up like a Christmas rose.
Excellent. Would you be able to open the storm drain outside the Silent Raven?
Suppose so, yes. But Cormac ain't allowed to just open up drains as he sees fit. What do you want this drain open for?
I believe there's a vital piece of evidence at the bottom of the drain.
You don't say.
It's quite true. It may even help me solve a murder.
Well then, in that case, Cormac will get the drain open for you. Come on, there's not a moment to lose. This it then?
That's the one.
Right, won't be a moment. There we are.
Thank you for your help, Cormac.
Not a problem. Now, if you don't mind, Cormac's just going to pop inside for a quick pint.
Detective work is a dirty job, but someone has to do it. Don't forget to roll up your sleeve.
I really hope there's something down there. Ugh. This is almost as bad as the time I had to search for that stolen necklace in a pile of horse manure.
I'm really glad I didn't draw the short straw in that case. Well, how about that?
Wish the police had found this so I wouldn't have to carry it around.
Nothing else down there but dirty water. Let's not stick around here if there's nothing more to ask about right now.
Ja, wir sollten ihm wenigstens sagen, dass wir fertig sind und dass er das Ding wieder zumachen kann, bevor jemand reinfällt und sich verletzt. Aber andererseits sind wir miles Fordham und uns ist das wahrscheinlich vollkommen egal. Bestenfalls.
So, Cormacs Testimony hast du, ne?
Jo.
So, dann du hast, hast du
Pardon me, Edwards.
Postmortem Results?
Ja, natürlich. Glaube ich. Weiß ich nicht.
Okay.
I found this pistol at the
Müsste
scene of
doch
the
ein Clou
Lespay
sein.
crime. Did you take a look and see if it was used to murder him?
It's all slimy. Where was it?
Sitting at the bottom of a storm drain.
Oh, I suppose that's not as exciting as finding it inside someone's intestines. Did I ever tell you about that post-mortem, by the way?
No, I certainly don't want to hear about it now. How
What's
long will
your
it take
deal?
you to analyze that pistol?
I should have something conclusive within the hour, if you don't mind waiting.
No, it'll give me some time to gather my thoughts.
Right. I've concluded my analysis, and this gun was definitely used to shoot Mr. Lespay. The bullet I removed from his body is a perfect match.
Thank you, Edwards. That is extremely helpful.
There's one more thing. I cleaned off some of the muck and found the initials JB etched into the handle.
Interesting.
My expertise with guns is purely forensic, so I can't determine if this is the gun's maker or the initials of its owner. That's going to have to be your job.
Thank you, Edwards. Help is always appreciated. I'll be going now, Edwards.
Take care, Fordham.
Miles, have you ever noticed that this Jimbo fellow fits the description of the man loitering outside the taxidermy shop? The barmaid told us she saw someone matching that description at the Raven on election night. Not only that, Priscilla just so happens to be the name of the ship Jimbo works on. And the pistol used to murder Ronan has the initials JB etched on it. It could be a coincidence, but I think it's quite reasonable to consider him as a suspect.
So. Hast du eigentlich Description of a Strange Man 3? Oder kriegst du das nicht als Hinweis angezeigt?
Ich habe nur Beschreibung eines seltsamen Mannes.
Okay, schwarz gekleidet, rote Haare und komische... So, jetzt müsstest du Abten eigentlich danach fragen können.
Can we talk for a moment, Upton?
Certainly. What's on your
Und die
mind?
müsste dir dann einen neuen Ort auf der Karte geben. Und zwar tall and large, red hair und
Can I try
distinctive
giving you
scar.
that description again? I may have more details now.
Sure. More details will definitely help. Could you describe the man's height and build?
He's tall, with a large build.
All right. What color is his hair?
Haarfarbe? Schwarz
Rot.
oder rot?
I'm certain it's red.
All right. Do you know of any unique details that might make him easier to identify?
Und dann musst du die Narbe erwähnen.
Yes, he has a scar on his left cheek in the shape of a shepherd's crook.
Good. That will be helpful. All right, I'll put out the bulletin. Give me a moment. All right, the bulletin is out. I'll let you know if...
Upton? Just got your bulletin.
Hello, Giles. Have you got something for me?
As a matter of fact, I've got someone in the jail fitting your description perfectly.
You don't say.
Yup. Name's Harvey Presser. Got picked up a couple of days ago.
Thank you, Giles. You heard the man, Fordham. You've got yourself someone to interrogate over at Bow Street.
Wenn du jetzt zur Presser-Residenz kriegst, die du bekommen haben müsstest auch. Du hast Bow Street und Presser-Residenz eigentlich gekriegt.
Nö, ich habe nur Bow Street bekommen.
Okay. Lass mich noch mal gucken.
Fordham? You look even worse than the last
Du
time
musst
I
noch
saw
mal,
you.
hast du,
We
nee,
can't
du hast
all
ganz,
manage
ganz,
to
ganz
keep
gefragt,
looking as
wofür
good as you,
er
Giles.
verhaftet wurde, ne?
What brings you back?
Nee, hab ich nicht.
I'm looking to speak with your prisoner.
Das musst du sie
Presser?
fragen, dann
I
kriegst du
just
nämlich
got off the horn with Upton
seine
about him.
Heimadresse.
Seems
Die
you're not
Presser-
the only one interested in
Presser
finding
Residence.
the man.
Then I suppose it's lucky I got here first.
Suppose so.
What was he brought in for, exactly?
He's the suspected leader of a cooping gang. Makes me glad I didn't bother to vote. All those dirty politics are just a waste of time.
And people wonder why nothing in Parliament ever changes.
Muss ich gleich nochmal mit dir sprechen.
Harvey Presser, I presume.
Who's asking?
Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator.
What do you want from me?
Just a few minutes of your time. You don't have anywhere to be, do you?
Hardy ha. Ask what you want, but I'm not answering anything until I see a lawyer.
Do you recognize the man in this ferrotype?
Should I?
His name is Ronan Lespay. He was shot outside the Silent Raven on election night.
That's a real shame.
Are you saying you know nothing about the murder outside the Silent Raven on election night?
Not a thing. I've never even heard of the Silent Raven.
Is that right? Because I've spoken to at least 3 people who swore they saw you there that night.
Yeah, and you're not police, so that doesn't scare me. You can't do a thing about it.
This guy's starting to get on my nerves. There has to be a way to make him talk.
I hear you were arrested for leading a cooping gang. Is that right?
I don't have to tell you a thing. You're not a copper.
That's all the questions I have for now.
Good. Leave me in peace.
So, wenn du jetzt in deine Residenz gehst,
Can we talk for a
vielleicht
moment,
darfst
Upton?
du nicht
Certainly.
nach einer Tasse
What's on
Zucker
your mind?
fragen.
What?
Upton, what do you have on this Harvey Presser fellow?
Give me a moment,
Du sollst
and
nicht nach
I'll
einer Tasse
locate the
Zucker
arrest
fragen, hab ich
report.
gesagt.
Here we are. He was picked up in a bar in Chumley after being identified as the leader of a cooping gang by one of his fellow gang members.
So much for loyalty. Anything else about him?
Not much besides his address.
That might be worth looking into.
It's 5885 Riverview Road, right near the asylum.
Ah, wonderful. Maybe afterwards you can drop by and pick out a room.
I'll let you get back to work.
And you'd better do the same.
Just a moment! Yeah? What do you want?
Ooh, she doesn't look like the type to take any guff. Better watch yourself, Miles.
I'm a private investigator, and I wanted to ask you a few questions.
Private investigator? What is this about?
I promise I won't take up much of your time.
All right, come in. But try and keep it down. My daughter isn't feeling well, and I don't want her being disturbed.
She doesn't look so good. Some of those modern steam cleaners, if they use them in this place, they clearly aren't worth a damn. Seems to be a notice from the bank threatening to foreclose on this place if they're late on their rent payment again. No wonder Harvey's taken a second job. Presumably that goes into the presser's bedroom, or it might be a closet, or both. A man's coat. Seems Harvey wasn't expecting to be out for very long. It seems peasant soup is on the menu tonight.
Mrs. Presser?
Yeah, what?
You know a man named Ronan Lespay?
Never heard of him.
And you've never seen the man in this ferrotype?
Nope. And I'm glad I haven't. Looks like a real pushover.
What does your husband do for a living, Mrs. Presser?
Harvey? He's a traveling salesman. Sells steam-powered cleaners like the ones in the corner there.
Oh?
Doesn't make much money on account of most people being afraid of steam tech these days. But Harvey tries his best to provide for me and little Mary. He's a good man. The job takes him out of town for days at a time, but we get by.
And that's all he does?
What are you asking? You know something I don't?
No, not at all. I was just curious.
Oh, look, another husband keeping secrets from his wife. There are a copper a dozen around here, it seems.
So what do you do while your husband's away?
Hang on there, what are you playing at? I'm a married woman.
I merely wanted to know a bit more about you, that's all. I meant no disrespect.
Is that your game? Asking innocent ladies about themselves so you can have your way?
She doesn't have to worry about being mistaken for innocent, that's for sure.
No, you know what? Just forget I said anything. Is your daughter all right?
She's just come down with a bit of something. This stew I'm making will put her right again. I've been giving her regular doses of Pink Bladder's Miracle Tonic, too. I'm sure she'll be back to tearing the house down again in a matter of days. Ticks after her father, that one.
Are you pleased with the election results?
Yeah, I'm glad that no-good High Muckamuck Outwood was voted out. Maybe now they can finally get to work on that bridge to Gascone we've been promised for so long.
But won't Leroy's opposition to steam tech be bad for your husband's business?
Maybe, but Harvey's always managed to land on his feet. If it comes down to it, I'm sure he'll be able to find a new job in no time. I was never too keen on him selling those contraptions anyway. It'll be a relief to get them out of the house.
I don't have any more questions for you, Mrs. Presser.
Good.
Okay, und was hat mir das jetzt gebracht, mit Mrs. Presser zu sprechen?
Jetzt kannst du mit Mr. Presser sprechen.
Ah. Oh, ich kann ihn wahrscheinlich dann erpressen.
Uiuiui, der Pann, Mann. Der Pann, ey.
A few more questions for you, Mr. Presser.
Whatever you say.
I had a little chat with your wife. You have a lovely family.
Mildred? How did you...
I may not be with the police anymore, but that doesn't mean I can't still get the information I need.
You didn't tell her about me being in jail, did you?
Don't worry. It was quite obvious your wife has no idea what you're involved in. As a man who values discretion, I thought it best not to shatter her illusions.
That's awfully decent of you.
Of course, I might change my mind, unless you start to cooperate.
I have to say, Miles, you've become a real natural at this tough cop role.
All right, fine. I'll talk. Just leave my family out of it.
Do you recognize the man in this ferrotype?
Yes, I do. That's Mr. Lespay.
And how is it you know him?
I was assigned to watch him and then pick him up on election night.
Assigned? By whom?
My employer.
I don't care about your employer. What I care about is what you were doing with Mr. Lespay.
Well, it was a cooping scheme. He was one of the people I was told to pick up.
Tell me more about this cooping scheme.
I got paid to find men to vote for Atwood. Simple, really. Once I found a good mark, I followed him a bit, knocked him out, then took him to the coop, a little room I rented near the Raven. I had about 5 men on election night, including Lespay. Got them all liquored up and walked them over to the polls. Once each of them voted, we'd walk back over to the coop. I'd change their clothes, maybe give them a fake beard, and walk back for another vote. Did it for myself, too, so people would be less likely to notice. Kept it up for a few hours, until the murder.
Tell me what you know about the murder outside the Silent Raven.
The most important thing I can tell you is that I didn't kill him.
Do you know who did?
Not a clue. I was inside the bar when I heard the gunshot. I went outside to see what had happened and found Lespay on the sidewalk.
And what happened next?
What do you think? I panicked. He was in my care. I wasn't expecting anyone to get killed.
I think Mr. Presser has a wildly different definition of the word care.
I went inside and gave the barmaid 10 crowns to keep her mouth shut. Clearly, that was money misspent. Then I went back home, told my wife I was going away on a business trip for a few days, just in case. Good thing I did, too. I might get out of this with her none the wiser.
What makes you so sure they'll let you out?
Me? I'm just a small fish, but I could talk and talk about whales. That's valuable information.
Quite the shrewd negotiator, this one. I think his skills have been wasted.
Is this your first time in jail?
Yeah, actually. Suppose you think I'm just some criminal scum, born for the gibbet? I'm not a bad man, Mr. Fordham. I just made some mistakes. You've met my family. I'd do anything for them. Anything.
I suppose no good deed goes unpunished.
You can say that again.
That's all the questions I have for now.
Good. Leave me in peace.
Dann sollten wir als nächstes wohl mit Jimbo sprechen. Aber durchaus ein bisschen vorsichtig.
He won't have anything relevant to tell us right now. He won't have anything relevant to tell us right now.
Oder auch nicht.
So, du musst in die Kirche gehen. Dort gibt es... eine Kiste, wo du einen Brief an Ned findest.
Now this is one.
Wahrscheinlich muss ich dafür jetzt die ganzen Kerzen auspusten.
Ja.
Well, that's all of them. Hope you made a wish.
Und dann kann ich das wahrscheinlich unserem...
Could I have another moment of your time, Mr. Puffin?
Yes, I suppose so.
It seems that all the prayer candles have gone out.
Have they? Blast, I keep saying there's a draft, but nobody's done anything about it. Excuse me for a moment, won't you?
Let's hope this chest hasn't got squeaky hinges.
Liebster Ned, dein letzter Brief hat mich vor Freude kichern lassen. Ich kann nicht aufhören, von dem Tag zu träumen, an dem wir endlich unseren Traum verwirklichen und zusammen als Mann und Frau leben können. Ich denke, es wäre eine tolle Idee, einen Welpen zu kaufen. Ich denke schon über Namen nach. Was hältst du denn von Wuffy? All meine Liebe. Pi.
Could I have another moment of your time, Mr. Puffin?
Yes, I suppose so.
Do you know anyone named Ned?
Ned? Well, yes, I do. My nephew, Ned Bunkridge.
Your nephew?
Yes, why do you ask?
Where might I find Ned? I'd like to speak with him.
Is everything all right? Ned hasn't gotten into any trouble, has he? I always tell him just because he's training his body, that's no excuse to pick fights.
No, he hasn't gotten into any trouble.
Oh, well, he lives in Lyon. 511 Parkside Terrace.
Right. Thank you for the information. I'll let you resume your practicing, Mr. Puffin.
Wenn du
Thank
dort
you.
gefragt
Have a
wirst.
blessed day.
Nee, wenn du nach Toms Adresse fragst, sag nicht, du möchtest dich nur umsehen.
Right this way, sir. Mr. Bunkridge is in his gymnasium.
Thank you, my good man.
Well, you take a look at this place. And take a look at him. Maybe you should consider doing some training yourself, Miles. You aren't getting any younger after all. They don't look that heavy to me. This seems to be where Ned keeps his extra equipment, and assorted other garbage. Some kind of martial art? Doesn't look like any I've ever heard of. Just when I thought I'd seen it all. What will they think of next? Oh, look, maybe you can slip these on and go a couple of rounds with Ned. If that's his best right hook, he'll be a pushover. And after that expert knockout you delivered Officer Grant, he won't stand a chance. What in the ether is that supposed to be? Looks like some kind of medieval torture device. Then again, so does most of this newfangled exercise equipment.
Excuse me, Mr. Bunkridge?
Oh, hello. Who are you?
I'm Miles Fordham, a private investigator. Your valet let me in.
Right, of course. What can I do for you?
I have a few questions for you, if you'd be so kind.
Yes, all right. I could use a bit of a rest anyway.
Are you familiar with a man named Ronan Lespay?
Never heard of him.
I have his portrait. Maybe you recognize him?
No, I've never seen this man before, but... Huh, how about that?
How about what?
The detail in this ferrotype is a bit fuzzy, but his facial features and hair, they vaguely resemble mine.
You know, now that he mentions it, it's true. Lespay does bear a passing resemblance to this fellow. Not quite as handsome, though.
Wait!
How do you feel about the election outcome?
I'm disappointed. Atwood may not have been the greatest PM, but he was pro-steam tech. Sure, the Lygia incident was a tragedy, but people are too quick to judge. Steam technology is a boon to mankind. It's already enriched my life considerably. It's a shame the progress is going to be held back because of one isolated occurrence.
I agree. Technological advancement doesn't come cheap, but it shouldn't be abandoned entirely. You're very into physical conditioning, aren't you?
Oh, you noticed. Yes, I believe that a healthy body is just as important as a healthy mind, if not more so.
Well, he's definitely prioritizing the former.
It's important to keep fit, especially at a job like mine where I'm in a chair most of the day.
What job is that?
I'm a clerk at the Bank of Vespuccia, but someday I hope to leave and teach others about the health benefits of regular exercise. Perhaps even open up my own gymnasium.
Ha! He actually thinks people are gonna go for that? Good luck to him.
So, you know nothing about the murder outside the Silent Raven 4 nights ago?
That's right. I don't even know what the Silent Raven is.
It's a bar in the Chum.
Well, that explains it. For one thing, I don't go to that part of town. A man like me sets foot in that den of ruffians, and I'll have every Tom, Dick, and Harry challenging me to a fight. Not that I couldn't take them, but I have better ways to train my body than beating thugs. Anyway, I don't drink. Dulls the mind and softens the body.
I see. Well, just thought I'd ask.
I'm sorry I can't help you, Mr. Fordham, but I hope you solve whatever it is you're investigating. You seem like a nice enough sort.
Tell me about your uncle.
You know Tom?
I've met him, yes. He's the one who told me where you lived.
Oh, right. Well, my uncle is, an interesting man.
Is that an interesting of the good or bad variety?
I really wish he would take better care of himself is all. I have the feeling that he's on some sort of drug, although he always denies it.
What gives you that impression?
Well, most of the time he acts completely normal. He goes to work, visits with me. Sometimes we go out together to the theater or a gallery. But some days his mood changes. He goes very solitary, won't leave his house, gets short with me. One time I went to visit him, I heard him yelling along with what sounded like furniture being knocked about. It only happened once, but it worried me. I hope Tom isn't in any sort of trouble.
Opium is one hell of a drug. It's a good thing you never got to that point with the soporific, or Adelaide would have thrown you out much sooner.
Are you all right, Mr. Fordham?
Yes, I'm fine.
What? Too soon?
Does the name Priscilla mean anything to you?
Yes, it most certainly does. My lady love is named Priscilla Poundstone.
I see. What can you tell me about her?
Oh, she's a darling. I love her very much. Such a kind and gentle soul she is, too. Loves animals, especially dogs. We've been together for ages and are due to be married soon.
When was the last time you saw her?
Saw her? Oh, no, Mr. Fordham. She doesn't live in New Britannia. She attends Miss Threadneedle's Academy for Young Ladies in Cormorant.
She lives in New Holland?
That's right. I've never actually met Priscilla face to face. We communicate exclusively through correspondence.
How did you two get involved?
Her father and mine were old military friends. They decided between them that their children would be engaged.
And you're both in agreement?
Yes. I admit at first I was a bit hesitant, but we share many of the same interests. The distance between us is not a detriment to our love.
I wonder how that will change once they actually begin cohabiting.
Ich glaube, ich habe den Fall gelöst.
Wirklich. Möchtest du nicht trotzdem noch alles sammeln?
Ja, aber ich denke, irgendjemand möchte nicht, dass er Priscilla heiratet. Und hat deswegen den Typen, der so ähnlich aussieht wie er, abgeknallt. Und dummerweise heißt das Schiff seines Lovers auch Priscilla. Die einzige Frage ist noch, wer es war und warum.
So you correspond regularly with Priscilla?
That's right. At least one letter a week. My uncle does me the kindness of acting as courier.
Do you think I might have a look at one of those letters?
What for? They're private correspondence.
I understand, but I feel this is important.
Der hat sich bestimmt
Perhaps
verliebt.
you could show me one that isn't too personal.
In Priscilla.
Yes, I suppose that would be all right.
Das wäre möglich.
In fact, I think there's a recent one on the shelf there. That's not too private. But you won't need to take it, will you?
Not at all. I just want to have a look. Could you give me Tom's address?
You don't have it? I thought you said you'd spoken with him.
I visited him at the cathedral.
But if he's there, why do you want his address?
I have reason to believe he may be somehow involved in a murder.
That's a serious accusation, Mr. Fordham. What proof do you have?
Nothing concrete just yet, which is why I'd like to investigate his home.
Well, you're not the police, so I'm not obligated to tell you. I'm sorry, but you'll need more than just a suspicion to convince me.
On second thought, never mind. Thanks for your time.
Not a problem.
Oh, du musst noch auf das Regal
Mein
klicken, um dort
liebster
einen Brief
Ned,
zu lesen.
ich war so froh, als ich deinen letzten Brief bekam. Es läuft hier ganz gut. Ich fange im Laufe der nächsten Woche mit meinem nächsten Kurs an. Wie läuft es bei dir? Hast du das mit dieser Sporthalle hinbekommen, von der du gesprochen hast? Du musst mir eine Ferrotypie schicken, die deine neue Figur zeigt. Pi.
Eine was?
Eine Ferrotypie?
Wait just a minute. Something's off here. The handwriting in this letter is different to the one we found before.
Ist das.
There's something strange going on with this Priscilla.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh Gott, was für ein Scheiß passiert da?
Ich nehme an, jetzt muss ich ihm sagen, hey, ich habe hier noch einen anderen Brief von Priscilla und das ist nicht die gleiche Handschrift. Oder muss ich doch noch irgendwas anderes vorher machen?
Nee, das ist alles. Der Brief aus
Could I
letztem,
ask you a
bevor du
few
die
more
Adresse
questions,
kriegst.
Mr. Bunkridge?
All right, but try not to take too long. Don't want to drop my heart rate too much.
About your uncle's address?
What about it? Why do you want it?
I think there's something going on between him and Priscilla.
Something going on? What do you mean?
I found a letter addressed to you from her at the cathedral, and the handwriting is different to the letter you have here.
He has one of her letters? Why would he?
I'm not sure, which is why I'd like to search his home and find out more.
If he's going behind my back, I swear I'll...
Calm yourself, Mr. Bunkridge. If I find anything, you'll be the first to know.
All right. Tom lives at 117 Gimlet Terrace in Worcester.
Hey, you're practically neighbors.
Here, I've got a spare key. If you find anything about him and Priscilla, you'll tell me, won't you?
Of course. Thank you, Mr. Bunkridge. Thanks for your time.
Not a problem.
Auch wenn das ihm dann vermutlich das Leben kosten wird, aber